All right, guys, this is Acer of Spades with Tripleholix Gaming, and today is our first official cover of Rise of Empires. My goal since I started my channel was to bring the most informative content on every game I touch to the entire world. So I came up with 10 beginner's tips for Rise of Empires that everyone needs to know. And if you are brand new to my channel, check out the Last Shelter Survival content because this game is a direct copy and paste. Now I want to go ahead and set a disclaimer. My content will be geared towards people who spend very little or people who want to spend no money in this game. Let's get started. Because I have so many different tips to share, guys, I did decide to break this down into multiple parts, but I'm going to try to give you some serious tips to start off. So tip number one is save charcoal. So did you know that the charcoal production can be more than you expend? So to give you an example, if I click my charcoal at the top here, I currently produce 59 and my consumption is 54, but guess what? I am not using any of the charcoal producing little charcoal factories. That is because I am using the road removal trick. It moves right over into this game and it's absolutely fantastic. So charcoal's main point is to let your production for everything be at 100%. So if you hit the charcoal and you hit the little exclamation symbol caution sign thing here, it'll say 100% and it breaks it down to tell you what is 100%. If you did not have charcoal, your percentage of what you produce in your base would dramatically decrease, causing you to grow a lot slower. So to make this simple, here's what needs to stay on the roads at all times. You're going to want to keep your houses on the roads at all times. You're going to want to keep your mints that give you your money on the roads at all times. And your resource buildings, as well as the storage facilities that hold all those resources. That being said, everything else is pretty much optional. So here's a really cool trick that will go right with this. You can actually temporarily add a building to the road like so. And then you can set your upgrades up and then you can simply remove that while it's upgrading. Quick example. And if you do so, you'll save the electricity, or rather in this case, charcoal, the entire time. So tip number two is your build order. Let's go and grow crazy fast. Now, part-time, it took me about 8 days to get to Castle 15. No money, of course. Results may vary, but let me show you how and why. So my first goal in this game was to get to Castle 16 ASAP, and obviously I'm well on my way. To reach that goal, I know I need to have an encampment at least to level 8. I have to have a medical tent at least to level 9, and an archery range at least to 13. Followed by an Alliance Hall to 15. Clearly my Alliance Hall is my last step, and as soon as I finish that, I'll be able to upgrade my wonderful tavern here and get myself to Castle 16. No problem at all. So you won't really need your encampments to go beyond level 10. I mean, you end up with around 6 of them. You get them up to level 10, kind of leave them to the wayside off the road. If you follow all the tips properly, you're probably not going to need to worry about your medical tents too much because you're going to grow faster and stronger than all of the opponents around you anyway, other than those who spend a lot of money. And if you are growing at a very consistent rate, those people spending money in that super strong alliance are going to want you anyway. So you'll be in that strong alliance that nobody wants to mess with. Don't worry about the medical tents. So this leaves all the main priorities. You're going to want all of your mints, your houses, and your resource buildings up to snuff because they also are requirements throughout, and that's how you grow faster anyway. You need to have them as high as possible at all times. I highly suggest prioritizing iron in your mints as they are the most important resources in the game. Number 3, one of my favorite tips in any one of these games that are like this. Did you know that troops that come from the stable march nearly twice the speed of all the other troops? A lot of folks run around here, raiders like myself, and it takes them forever to raid something because they are using the wrong type of troops. So let me show you what I mean. If I wanted to hit something right here, it says that my current troop would take 27 seconds to get there. Now, if I were to go ahead and put anything else in here outside of these cavalry troops, and I go back, it will tell you it takes 59 seconds. Same exact legion, and yet half the time. That is why your march speed is super, super important. Slow troops literally coming at my castle will have a very hard time because I can actually hit them and come back before they even reach my castle in the first place, leaving them completely vulnerable. In early game, this is a huge, huge plus. If you build that up fast enough and you do the following tech that I'm going to mention, you'll probably be able to attack faster than someone can scout you. And that's why I highly suggest you continue to increase your stable as well as your archery. And the reason being is you need your archery to hit level 13 to get to level 14. And you need your stable well to get those fancy cavalry troops. Therefore, I conclude I would drop the archers at first, early on, early game, after you get it to level 13. And don't even worry about the barracks at all. If you look inside my city, mine is exactly the exact way I just mentioned. I will be continuing to push my stable forward. It's at level 13. But as you can see, my barracks is level 2 and the archery is at level 13 as it was a requirement. The tech that really helps this take off, as you can see, is like cavalry training down here on the bottom right. Purebred steeds will give you a massive increase in march speed as long as you are using those types of units, i.e. cavalry. And class legion, if you scroll down this way, which you want to get down here as fast as humanly possible, guys, alloy horseshoe will go ahead and increase the march speed of your class legion alone. On that same token, that will take me into tip number 4, and that will be 1 legion strong. You do not get a prize for having 2 mediocre legions that march slow and are weak, instead of having 1 exceptionally strong class legion that will kick butt and get the job done. This means, if you can tell, I've not touched Research Legion 1 whatsoever, and Research Legion 2 at all. Class Legion gets all of my resources and anything I need. I want to get my maximum march as high as possible. I want to get my gathering speed high as possible. I want everything done, and your biggest goal on this would be to get to hero cooperation as soon as possible. But doing so, and also only ever increasing your class training rounds, you want to do that as fast as possible as well and leave the other training grounds in the background. You don't even need to worry about them right now. You want to get to 16, you can start to expand after you max out your class legion. So have that 1 strong legion, and if you do that, guys, it's going to help you with this wonderful area cleansing operation, which gives you massive amounts of points for killing high level different types of the undead. The fact is, if you don't have 1 very strong class legion and you're splitting the very good heroes that you have between 2, you're not going to get to 12, 13, 14, or 15. I know people that play these games for well over a month and can't even hit level 13 for whatever reason. But this is why. Focus on 1 and it will defend you and attack for you. And just because of the amount of time and the length of this video, believe me, I have so many tips your head will spin. And the next set are going to be absolutely breathtaking. Believe me when I tell you, if you are not used to playing these types of games, these will help you. So I will stop at tip number 5 in this video, and that will go right back to where we were, and that is specifically the tech order. So we kind of talked about what buildings you should focus on and making sure you have your RSS up and all the different resource buildings. But if you'll notice, I have a very distinct pattern on how I am growing my specific tech. You want to get your Institute actually to level 8. Mine's at level 6 because I'm slacking. So you want to get that to level 8 if you can, as soon as possible. Your first goal should be to start with town development. The reason being is because a happy castle is an efficient castle. And to make your castle efficient, so where it's getting all the resources you need to have these rapid amount of growth, you're going to want to have something that gives you 30% food income, 30% sugar, well, I guess it says charcoal, lumber, etc. You want all these 30% as fast as possible, as well as Midas Touch, which will give you 30% more money income. Money, again, is the hardest resource in this game to achieve, right there with iron. So you want to make sure both of those get to a maximum position as fast as possible. When you do that, that puts you at 50%. After that, you can leave it because we have more important things to do. Basic combat, you're going to want to do in conjunction. Not only does it give you courage medals in between the first tech, but you'll also increase how much cavalry along with the other units that you can get. And more importantly, Novice Empire and Novice Rebel Slayer will immediately give you points or resistance and might against level 1 through 5 monsters. So that should be your first main priority as far as getting that, so that you can start that cleansing operation, which gives you massive rewards early on. Then moving forward, as we just talked about, you're going to want to focus on your class legion, and I suggest focusing on your cavalry training. Again, this is just in the beginning so that you can get to 16 as fast as possible, so that you can be as efficient as fast as possible, so that you can raid like a beast as fast as possible. And guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I really would appreciate that. I'm going to bring you more Rise of Empires content. And guys, if you're here and you're watching me from Last Shelter, nothing's changed. We have so much going on and the team is working day and night. I really appreciate all your time. I hope you join our Tripaholics Gaming channel, and I cannot wait to make part 2. Like and subscribe. Bye, guys.